Yeah, I'm
It's the
full.
authentic ones that connects, right?
Yeah,
God,
I felt everything that you said from the moment that we started talking. And so from the very first that my sister had a baby when she was 15. And it was just what you just said. It was the stigma. It was
embarrassment.
the
Yeah.
embarrassment of my family
Yeah.
to the point where, and I just tell you, we did not even know she was pregnant. She was in the house with us.
Same.
We had no
I
idea.
was 6 months when my mom found out.
That's when my sister was 6 months. And know how we found out?
What?
People kept calling, saying nasty stuff on the phone.
Oh my
And-
neighbor. Oh my God.
And they said, "Oh, you all think you so much. You in the house with your child that she's pregnant." She said that she's changed. She was in Catholic school, and she was changing uniforms with her best friend, who's still her best friend. She was changing uniforms with her every day, Gretchen. And so finally, my parents took her to the doctor, and sure enough, she was 6. Oh, I'm gonna say this too. Her mind had trained her body,
Yes,
not to expand.
Yes.
So am I
Same.
telling the truth?
You are. Oh my God.
Her mind had trained her body not to expand.
I was trying out for the cheerleading
She was
squad.
a cheerleader, cheering and doing flips and cartwheels and all that, and that's why we didn't know. She was a cheerleader. I'm not lying to
How is
you.
this story?
When I introduce y'all, she will tell you, I'm going to introduce you all. I will not preempt the conversation at all. And she will tell
I have.
she was a chip. That's why I started crying. I didn't even know this part. But when I looked at you, I saw my sister. I saw the pain
Ooh.
in my sister's eyes. I saw the pain. And my sister was going to give the baby up for adoption because my parents said, well, let me take you back to the doctor. So then they say that that day that they found out she was pregnant, that next day, her body expanded to that.
You immediately. The same thing happened with me. I couldn't
And you
fit my
could tell
clothes.
she was pregnant in the house at that point.
Wow.
We had no clue. She was telling my parents, oh, get me pads, all of this stuff. But that day she went to the doctor and it got out, her body expanded to 6 months pregnant. I mean, it was like her mind said, okay, they know now, you could release. So her body released to the size of 6 months pregnant.
This is my story. How is this? This is my story.
That's why I didn't, and I'm telling you, I don't know if it had to be the Holy Spirit because I don't know that part of your story.
The cheerleader thing, the trying out for my neighbor. I had a neighbor, the same grade. So my son was born in September, right? So at the end of the school year, of course, there's cheerleading tryouts and there's prom.
Yes.
And the girl across the street was getting dressed for prom.
Yes.
I didn't go to prom.
Yes.
And I remember my mom telling me that the mother of that young woman said something smart to her about why I might not be going to prom.
But the Lord knew that because this is the fourth. Y'all have not seen me like that. The other person has been like that, but not me. But when I looked at you, and as soon as I asked that question, it immediately took me back to my sister because it changed just our whole lives changed because my father told her, he told all of us, he said, if you ever get pregnant, I'm putting you out, blah, blah, blah. He didn't do that. But then the baby, they sent her to a place called Florence Crittington Home. And because she was in Catholic school and they weren't going to let her continue school because she's pregnant. So they sent her to Florence Crittington School and she finished school there. My nephew was born on May 21st. And my parents, they were supposed to give him up for adoption. And that day they saw him. And they said, we can't do this because I'll be wondering my whole life if that child that just passed by is my child, is my grandchild. So that's how my nephew came home.
How many years apart are you and your sister?
4. She's 62.
She's older than you.
Yeah, she's older than me. So we're 4 years apart.
Yeah, I'm processing something that I have never processed before. I have a younger sister. And I have never thought about how my pregnancy impacted her.
Don't you make me go run. Ooh. Because it had a very hard effect on me. I will tell you, I had to leave. I left town. I went to boarding school. I could not take the ridicule. I could not take. My parents totally changed.
Yep.
They got so strict.
Yep.
I couldn't do anything. I couldn't go anywhere.
It makes sense. It makes so much sense. I left, and my sister, my little sister, she found me on the internet. Where's my sister? Because at that point, of course, my mother wasn't speaking to me. And I just never thought about what I left her with. I'm sure my mother was a completely different mother and has never been the same. So I have some reconciliation to do with my little sister. Because I always thought about me and, of course, my son and, the life that I was trying to make for him and the stigma on me. But she was in that house too, right? There's no telling what people said to her. There's no telling what my mother did to her.
Honey, this is nothing but the Lord, because I told you that was not the question that I was supposed to start
I have
with.
never, when I leave here, I might go see my sister.
This was the whole point. I do think this needs to be seen
I
for
do
many
too.
reasons, because, and we're going to set some people free, because I never said that publicly, what I just said about that's how I felt. That was part of why I left. That was part of, when I saw that boarding school, I was like, I'm out of here, deuces. I can't stay in this small town, when everybody is so happy because they feel like, oh, y'all thought you was so much, and now your kids and this and that, and y'all ain't S. It was a mess.
My mom was a teacher.
But you got to understand the dynamics. My father was a big deal. That's the thing. It's a little different when you black and you got resources.
Yeah. My mom was a teacher. So while we certainly weren't well off, there were folks, particularly even in our family.
Oh, yeah, they're happy.
Yes.
Oh, you thank your kids so much. That's what it was.
Yes.
I'm telling you, it was really, I'll say that candidly. That's when I started going to see a counselor. I was like, something gonna happen if y'all will get me some help. I'm just being honest.
Oh,
and so that's why I believe in counseling. I'm that sister. If when our kids say, I'm not feeling good about something, I'm like, sweetie, you going to the counselor. We can talk to you, but you're going to a counselor. I learned that early on because I know what the ramifications are when you don't get the help that you need, when you don't have those conversations. When you said, I'm led in my spirit right now to say to you, this is going to be the thing that changed you and your sister's relationship.
I feel it. When you started saying that I reminded you this story of your sister, I didn't know I'd be looking at you and you would remind me of mine. I never thought in a million years that this was going to be where this conversation went.
Me either, because not on the cards.
Oh my God. I have never thought, I love her. I love her dearly. I was her role model. Right?
You watch and see what happens to you all now when you say, sis, let's go away for a reconciliation weekend.